possible target, but not doesn't look great. I'm just going to push in on it.
Well, that other, the bubble stream we were just at was intermittent.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, I'll hold here. Now it's more like it's kind of heading. What range is it at now, Nicole?
I don't see it. The bubble stream.
No, the
Oh, no, sorry, the sonar.
Oh, the sonar.
That's definitely fish.
bubble streams in the multi-beam pass we did. So these could be kind of ephemeral. Although there were many picks over here.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, holding here.
Morning. Important starfish things to do.
Okay, you're right. That one was moving faster than I expected. For some reason, instead of writing C pens, my brain keeps wanting me to write Sean Penn. I don't know why.
You may be listening.
Maybe. We have folks listening right now in the United States, the UK, the Netherlands, Canada, South Africa, Vietnam, Singapore, Puerto Rico, Russia, Norway, Egypt, Denmark, Germany, Australia, and Austria.
Wow, nice
So
list.
if he's there, could be. And for the folks writing in, yes, we are aware of some of those stream things. The website
Close to
is not refreshing the watches. We're working on troubleshooting that.
A few meters from it.
Okay.
Anything on orbit?
When we got that bubble detection, there wasn't anything popping up. I guess it's the...
I think we might need to come off the seafloor a little if we wanted to scan with it.
Roger.
Just get off the target a bit here. Where is it exactly?
So we've passed it. It's to our southeast at 133 at 10 meters away.
Okay. All right, Randy, I'm going to come up a bit.
Roger.
There's some hits over there. I don't know, I can't.
All right, Randy, I'm going to come up a bit.
Roger.
There's some hits over there. I don't know, I can't tell if they're fish,
those
though.
look reasonable.
Yeah.
No, it's only the beginning of the dive, but I feel like with the last The dive we did 2 days ago that was shallower, we saw lingcod like everywhere, and we haven't seen that
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hey?
And there was more fishing gear, at least, that we saw at the other side, so you would almost expect the opposite, but there's plenty more dive to go.
Yeah, I'm interested if that'll change when we get to, now that I know it's 2 meters tall, I'm like, ridge, rising inflection?
Lump.
Yeah.
Ripple.
Yeah, ripple, exactly.
Speed bump.
That
Subtle topography.
I want to get in on some of the seamount stuff next year.
Yeah, the seamounts in the Pacific are.
I think that's my
Spectacular.
favorite dives now. Like I was on for a lot of those. What was that? 2 or 3 years ago from Hawaii down to Samoa, and then and the ones we did in BC for DFO.
Those BC dives were amazing. The water clarity.
Yeah,
The size of the sponge.
yeah, it's just spectacular.
Love it.
What's this?
It's a little map.
well,
We are approaching waypoint 7.
I zoom in there a little, Tammy. Partial zoom. There you go.
Set some matting. Looks like there may have been some bubbles coming out.
Oh, there are bubbles right
Okay.
there.
bubbles.
Yeah.
Called it.
I think we found our waypoint 7.
Do you want to do anything with these bubbles?
We could sit and look at them for a second.
Observe.
I think Tamara's in the lounge if she gets super excited, but I think she's aware we're doing the dive backwards. So
Yes.
Oh, are the stronger bubbles the earlier waypoints?
these were supposed to
Can
be
zoom right in
very
there,
strong
Tammy.
too, but
We'll have to stop the ship if we want to stay, or you can just make a decision there. We're all right for the moment. Oh, bubbles is over.
show's over.
Yeah.
Short-term bubbles.
We can continue to waypoint 8,
Roger. Okay.
Good idea.
which is kind of the other direction. It's a little northeast or northwest.
I can make the vessel move to get us out of go that direction.
Yep.
Yeah, some more.
Little bacteria have like made it. They have their own little bubble
Bridge nav.
bloom.
Zoom in there, Tammy.
40 meters at 330.
Anyone else notice how fast that starfish seemed to be moving?
No,
Thank you.
No.
Vessel's going to make a move to the northwest to get
North.
us more in the center
Yeah.
or up to waypoint 8.
Okay. Northwest, what is it exactly? It's only a few meters, isn't it?
It's 30 meters away at 326.
Okay, 326. All right, full wide, Tammy. Thanks. You want to come around to port? Yep.
Randy, we don't have you on SPL if you intend to be.
See,
Oh.
watch the starfish.
Sorry about
Do we know if this area is actively fished? Or are we inside any protected zones?
We're not in a sanctuary. I don't know if there are other fisheries protections here.
We're outside of state waters right now, too.
Yeah. We're 30 miles
Yep.
off North Willapa Bay.
I'm
So
not seeing any amount of gear like yesterday.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
I did intertidal field work at Willapa Bay.
I've had oysters from Willapa Bay.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
We'll be pulling the ship in for lunch.
Yeah. To keep us moving towards waypoint 7, a heading change of to 175 will put us in the right direction. I'll make a vessel move.
What's the distance between 7 and 8? Can we split the difference? Ooh, that's
So it's
just
pretty
like
close. That's a bearing of 202. But
Roger.
bridge nav 080 meters. What the seismic data shows us here is these units exposed on the seafloor here are steeply dipping. So they've been folded and upturned and kind of rotated up on their side, which is pretty neat because if you here exposed on the seafloor, these rocks are, at our water depth, the surface, a few kilometers to the south. These are a few kilometers at depth. So these rocks are very deep just to the south of us, and they're exposed here. So you kind of get a window into what is occurring, kind of rocks are at depth.
Kind of want a vacuum cleaner then to just get rid of this little veneer of sediment.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the smoother part of the survey. Like the seafloor looks like there's a nice drape here.
You could still see the little variations in the rock surfaces, which is kind of cool.
The ridges.
$25, 120 meters, but they're local variations. So you could think of with a big ice shelf, a big ice sheet on the land, that you could be depressing the continent that
Zoom in there, Tammy.
could cause
Yeah.
uplift here. So local variations in the sea level curve can occur with big weights of the glaciers.
It's come out. So,
The top level, and the reason it's eroded and exposed is that this area has undergone sea level transgressions and regressions. At least over the last 2 million years during the ice ages, sea level has been near here, wave base erosion. The coastline has moved back and forth along
Tammy.
I think we're going to see a more variety of rocks today.
Yeah.
The bathymetry, the larger scale bathymetry looks like we're on top of a eroded anticline. So a lot of maybe folded sedimentary units. But we also saw what looked like bouldery glacial erratics.
Yeah, so what made this area so interesting to you?
Okay.
Because you kind of picked this site, right, Jeff?
Well, we have I went over this site last month on the Langseth. You're collecting seismic data. So we have some deep imaging in this area too. There's the bathymetry indicated we were at the top of a folded anticline, and there was a string of seeps that seemed to be coming up along one of the bedding planes. So that was kind of neat.
What's a bedding plane? Say more about that.
Well, you have layers get deposited kind of flat on the seafloor, and when they're buried deep enough and over a long enough period of time, they turn into rocks. And those are sedimentary rocks. So you can have mudstones, sandstones, shales. And then because we're in an active margin where there's subduction going on, you get folding and faulting of those rocks, those beds. And then if they're folded and then shaved off the top of them, you get exposure of the bedding planes sitting next to each other. That's what I think this bathymetry is showing, if we zoomed out a lot. And then if there's seeps coming along the bedding planes, the boundaries between different sedimentary units can be conduits for fluid flow or gas flow.
Sure, yeah.
Great explanation, thanks.
Yeah, the seafloor looked pretty neat.
Maybe the subsea floor.
Well,
Am I right?
No, both. Time.
Yeah, I was on a tall ship for 7 weeks, but there was one port stop in between. It was about 2 weeks in, so that was like 2 weeks and then 5 weeks.
A little more rubbly all of a sudden.
Yeah, we're coming up to a little bit more defined part of the ridge. As someone who's been to sea a lot, going to port but not going home is always a tough one for me.
Especially if the port is real close to home.
Yeah. It's like a tease.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tease. Some jealousy of all the people getting off, looking very excited.
There's also, I mean, I was discussing this with one of our newer shipmates, that it can also be really hard to leave when you pull into port and kind of like your whole world has been contained in 250 feet, and then, you know, some of your shipmates are staying and you have to go. That can also be really challenging, where you're like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
It always
missing out.
it always reminds me of summer camp where you're like, oh, bye.
yeah.
yeah, I find those feelings happen when I get home. And then I'm like, oh, I don't have as much to do.
Yeah.
The schedule's different. I don't see all the people I've been used to seeing.
Yeah, I'll come wave you all out. The ship will drive past my house by the time and the way the travel will work out, I'll get home and then the ship will drive by and leave, you know, so wave. Wish you all well.
Big sponge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we stick a whole bunch of those expeditions together to make a season. Yeah, and folks will usually join us for either one expedition, so a couple weeks, or maybe a few back-to-back. And in COVID times, more back-to-back, so that we could limit the exchange of people, keep the ship like a bubble.
Yeah, my experience historically is probably 3 to 4 weeks is probably, I would say, is average for operations. But yeah, as you say, COVID, we try and keep them together. So travel logistics are obviously difficult. So try and get people out for more like 2 months. Ship's crews are often out for like 6 months at a time.
Yeah, I was going to say, personally, it's like about the same, about a month or so. And then a little break at least before I would go back out. Or last year, I was gone for 3 months straight just because of COVID. Granted, we had like a couple days in port between switching. At least Mike and I had like 2 days in port switching boats. And then
Out to another one, yeah.
But
What
yeah.
is the longest anybody's been offshore? I mean, just of your experiences in the room, not ever.
I don't think I would win that contest, but I've done a lot of them at like, I'd say 10 weeks is probably the longest. Or whatever that one we did, Tammy, that was maybe 10 or 11 weeks if you add it all, put it all together. But
yeah.
Is that not coming back to port? That's out for 10 weeks, or is just your stint?
no, that's coming out to port, but that's just living on ship.
Yeah.
Or, because like Nicole indicated, the ship has endurance, any ship, right? So it's a long time to be out.
Yeah,
those are COVID's special rules, because I don't really like to try and have a balanced life. It's not being at sea for 2.5 months at a time is not really conducive to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully the COVID is getting under control.
Yeah, I would say the longest I have been, like, just out at sea, not counting going into port or anything, was about 28, 30 days.
It's true.
Very true.
Yeah, so I
looking down, where you're kind of tucked in that little
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
pocket. Mm-hmm.
The visibility was just so good.
Yeah. That was the treat. We're like alternating.
Yes.
Continental shelf dive, deep dive. For viewers writing in about scale, the two lasers are 10 centimeters apart. They're parallel scaling lasers, so no matter what we see up close or far away, the two dots will land on it. When you can see the two dots land, a little murky right now, 10 centimeters apart. So it's about the width of your hand, your palm. So for that octopus, for example, you know, or at least maybe you can kind of count 10, 20, 30, maybe 60 centimeters across the mantle.
Tammy, is it possible to put that in orbit up somewhere else that's visible to the back row?
Yeah, I was just looking at your monitors there, trying to see which one.
Yeah, there's a couple that are like between Megan and I that don't have anything, but
Yeah, Site 2 viewer control. There it goes. Control probably better.
Okay.
do you know what people have been successful at? I haven't played with this sonar ever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Mm. All right, thank you.
So Mike, what are the challenges of flying in conditions like this? I find myself kind of like squinting at the monitor. Do you do the same?
Yeah, I guess this is not really challenging in general because it's pretty flat. There's not a lot of like we're looking a lot further out than what we're seeing in the video with sonars. So aside from some of these kind of glacial erratic rocks, or so there's no real hazards for us, but it's other than that, it's like driving in a snowstorm. If you're looking at the video too much, it's the same effect, right? It's tiring on your eyes, like you're experiencing. But the murkier it gets, the more that we're kind of looking at instruments more than the camera. So I have an altimeter to keep like if it's murky like this and it's soft, and especially also where we have all this stuff on the porch, we have the gas sampler, so the camera's tilted up a little more. So then looking at the altimeter to stay off the bottom, and looking at the forward-facing sonars, more so than the camera view. This isn't as bad as it was the other day, I don't think, though. I think the little bit that I remembered from the shallow site was a little murkier.
Yeah, I agree.
Still about 100 meters, 75 meters from coming up on an area that looks shallower.
Good afternoon to the folks in Sweden writing into us. It's just about 5 o'clock in the morning here where we are. We're moving the ship down towards our target sites towards the southeast, so just transiting across the seafloor, checking out what we can see along the way. We're on the continental shelf, hence the murky water at only about 150 meters.
I thought that would have been like carbon and stuff, but it's just all those targets. It's just bigger rocks.
That is a really big. Is that Rathbanaster?
Yeah,
That
Rathbanaster.
I could never spell that.
I think I've written it so many times that I can now spell it.
A lot of flatfish here too.
Fishing line? What is that? No, that's
That's
slab
a ridge. Yeah.
rocks.
Wow.
Yeah. A big slab of.
Octopus on there.
Yeah, look at that.
Zoom in there, Tammy, please. It's too bad it's so murky. Wow. It's like
Wow. Big.
It's big.
So much stuff in the water. I have a little focus monitor. It won't even pick up anything.
I know, it's frustrating.
I guess that's an encrusting sponge behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to notice if it's a male or female, because then it could be like preparing. That's kind of a good setup to lay some eggs.
Okay, full wide.
A nice little spot. You're putting
Yep.
most anemones up top.
Those are all tube worms, I think, on that rock surface.
You want a quick zoom?
Sure.
Sure.
Just go in
It's
there,
like all the
Tammy,
little
just
feather
quick. I gotta
dusters.
spin around and catch up here, but yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are sabellids.
All right, nice.
And wide.
They're such a fake out because there's a little bit of their like tube protruding from the rock. There's probably a sizable amount in the rock. So to get any of those out fully would be hard.
We've collected rock samples with those on them, and yeah, they're a challenge.
Yeah, I studied sabellids for my undergrad and master's thesis, and I always had to use a hammer and a chisel to get any of them out.
You're not having any luck with an orbit?
He has it. Who wants control of it? Randy? Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and those anemones are so bright. They're so difficult to take a good photo of because they just blast all the light back. That probably looks like one of them.
Do you guys have the Norbit on by any chance?
Good call. Probably didn't turn that on. Oh, here it comes. Does somebody have it on a monitor back there?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, I think I have it on, but someone could...
I was trying to pull it up on a monitor back here, but I don't think I can. Tammy, you said it was CAMAC 2?
Randy, can you get it back where you had it the other day there?
Usually.
Yeah, I got the ground fault. That tells me it's on.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, Tammy has it up there.
I don't... It doesn't
Oh,
seem
yeah.
to be moving at all, though.
Probably had to set it going in the software, but I've powered it. I think it should work.
Are you just viewing it, Tammy, or
I'm
do you have
just
control?
viewing. I don't know how to operate it.
Does it look like someone else had control of it?
Yeah, it's probably in the data lab.
Data lab? Like, you think Chris was using it?
Well, that's usually where, if K2 is up here, he'll take it over by the nav and control it, but otherwise they've always controlled it down in the data lab. So I don't know. We can see if anyone's down there.
Did you ask them to release it as well? It'd be nice for someone up here to be able to control it.
Does someone know how to? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Randy can
Yeah, I'll have once
Poke around it a bit there.
once Rennie gets it going,
Okay.
I'll have him release it.
What's it called, Rennie? It's powered on through the vehicle, yeah.
It is, yeah. Yeah, the Ethernet's on, orbit's on. What were we powering on this the other day? That was a beacon for a little while. As far as I know, I got it done right here. I think it's just Ethernet bottle power and then the comms on orbit.
Okay.
I know I'm powering it, because like I said, I got ground fault, but
Could you power cycle it?
could do. Okay, it's back on.
Vessel's finishing its move here at 15 meters. We can change heading
So
to 168 and we'll go down the ridge towards, we're still going to waypoint
yeah,
7 and 8.
it's best if you can give them their next move before they complete one, because then they don't really stop.
Roger. Bridge nav. 1, hold.
Zoom in there, Tammy. Not the fish, I'm looking after this thing.
Bridge 280 meters at 168, please.
Yeah, and some clamshells.
Yeah. Okay, wide please.
Oh, and a little baby
280 meters at
soul or
168.
Oh yeah, I missed that altogether.
something.
Yeah.
Tiny. Well, this is a good sign. We're getting close to seep territory.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeff, are we going on 168 now?
Yes, vessel's just making its move to 168.
Roger.
Less than 2 meters.
Ah.
I believe that could be a yellow eye. I don't know. They tend to have that white line, but
Okay.
Doesn't want to hang out.
it's camera shy.
I do love rockfish because they're like, I don't know, they're the shape. If you asked me to draw a fish, like I would draw something like that, you know? You're like,
Yeah.
kind of standard body, big fins, big.
Pretty good for a little fish, doesn't it?
There you go. I had to look this up before. I was like, let's make sure I'm not telling fish stories at 4 o'clock in the morning. Some rockfish could be 150.
Oh, wow. So I was
Yeah.
only like halfway there.
No, I mean, I think, I'm sure it varies by species, but yeah.
I was just looking that up too. How long do rockfish live?
Yeah, 150 years as a little fish.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Amazing.
And black rockfish are about 50 years lifespan, it says, according to alaska.gov.
Yeah. See how silty the bottom is and everything?
We are headed southeast to targets 7 and 8.
Correct.
Can you check that sonar? Is that Herc one upside down? No, but the mounting up or down. Yeah, that should be up. I was just watching that target. Wow, we had a big we had a lot of issues with that last night. There's a lot of rebooting and restarting and stuff. I don't care. Leave them like that. It's fine. Yeah.
Correct.
Shannon, do you know what fish these are in Argus?
I don't. Fish are not my expertise.
Nicole, those could be glacial erratics, right? Out here?
Yeah, I was just thinking that they look like the stones that drop out of the bottom of glaciers, so that's what they are. Kind of all by themselves, just a random group.
Yep, yep.
Our island is covered with them. Like every hike, you're just like, hello. Hello.
Data still camera set up where I think it'll be happy saving files. I left the select folder open so you can see where it is. It's on Nautilus Fest data guest.
I know, it should be right out in front there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty murky. You see them sometimes. See the tether in the down cam? There, over there.
Oh. I'm going to put it back to 1.
Go have a look around.
I'll check on the quality in a little bit. The camera just decided not to like me, or the server did.
Those are pretty flat. All those targets are pretty flat, eh?
Yeah, until we get to this string here, they're kind of a little ridge.
Yeah.
So we're moving.
Is ship moving? No, it stopped.
Okay. I think they didn't hear the distance correctly. Let's change slightly on that bearing to a 117, and we'll get over to the rocky outcrop.
117. Okay.
Bridge nav 100 meters at 117.
Megan, to answer your question, I think those might be black rockfish
I was gonna say
or sea bass, right?
yeah, I
Interchangeable.
just looked at an ID guide and I find like rockfish IDing so unsatisfying, and I was like, you are yellowtail rockfish.
Yeah.
Like, is that at least the ones with those really bold chunks down the back? You know, kind of those tiger stripes.
Are those
There totally
contours?
could be black
That's what
rockfish in there
two?
too.
2-meter contours.
Because you see some of them are a little darker and some are kind of a little whiter. Just like anything else, they actually change color with age. So they'll kind of get like a little more gray as they get older.
They
They were tar.
Yeah. And would it be worth? Okay. They do align with that feature. I think it would be good to go along that feature, the ridge.
Would you like to go directly to the ridge?
Are we going southeast? Okay. Come around to 162. Rendy, please, to starboard.
Would you like a vessel move started?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bridge nav 440 meters at 162. Someone give me a speed.
While we're getting set up, may as well take a look at this. Jeff, can you talk on a headset? Like, are you?
We're 482 meters from waypoint 7 at a bearing of 162. Can you hear me?
No.
I don't hear you
Can
through
you
the
get on
comms either.
SPL?
He is.
Huh.
Mike must not be close enough. I can't hear him back here.
Can you hear me? No? Can you hear me?
No. I'll mute that for
Testing. Hello?
That's better.
All right. Toggle it on and off.
There we go.
I'm turning you way up.
I've got it touching my mouth here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Jeff, you were saying we're going to head south to get to those waypoints.
Yeah, southeast.
Okay.
Do we want to start moving, or are we doing some other checks here?
No, we're ready to go. What's that? That's just her. That's me pulling on you.
All right, that one seemed to have, let's try that out. I may have to white balance a little later. I can't. Oh, Mike, did you have the porch light on? Okay. I have a note here that's saying sometimes that will cause it not to take. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't hear you yet, Mike, too.
If the still camera's not on, can we turn that on?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Oh, it didn't take. Let me.
When you're ready, can we get you all on SPL? Thank you.
Beautiful.
Obviously, super light, short descent. Here we are on the seafloor. So it's up on the continental shelf, so expect the visibility to be a little bit low.
When we're ready, can we power on the still camera?
Yeah, and then I'll need the lasers off. Yes, please.
Good morning, everybody. Descended to 150 meters. Getting set up for another dive on an unexplored methane seep.
Okay, vehicle's clear of the stern. Looks like you barely got any thrust. You guys got your gains turned down?
We're good.